The NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, we have the Houston Rockets going up against the Orlando Magic at Amway Center. Well, for Orlando, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. And Che in action here. One of the huge talents, and really one of the few, who remained in college for a number of years.
Yeah, he had the ability to make the jump after 1 year, but he stayed true to himself and waited till he felt he was ready.
Well, that was a huge risk, staying in college. Injury, team not performing well, you not performing well. But sometimes that drops your value, but it worked out for him. Best to him, brother. Che, way to go.
That wraps it up for here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later.
The skyline of Orlando is seen here during a gorgeous sunset. Quite a backdrop for our broadcast tonight. Welcome to the weekend, everybody. Let's get it going with NBA action on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. DA will join us tonight on the sideline. And let's check out a breakdown. Looking at some stats for him.
And the biggest takeaway when you look at his numbers is how good his three-point shooting has been the past 5 games. He's finding the open spots on the perimeter, and when he's getting good looks, boy, he is not missing.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Modern-day godfather of pace and space. His teams in Phoenix popularized small ball, moving around and pushing the tempo in their 7 seconds or less offense. It's ironic that now his Houston team plays a much slower isolation style of basketball. Kevin, that shows his flexibility and D'Antoni's ability to adapt to his personnel.
Whatever works, David. Thanks. We don't see this very often, Clark, but tonight, 2 teams that really thrive in the half court.
Yeah, and they can get up and down, and we'll see them do that some, but they much prefer, Kevin, simply to grind it out.
Here's the starting group for Houston. Harden and Gordon are out on the wings. Robert Covington out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Westbrook in at the point. And for the Magic. At the 4 and the 5, we have Gordon and Vucevic. Fournier out there with Fultz. And it's Isaac in at the small forward. Tip-off goes to Houston. And here's Westbrook. He tries for 3. And Vucevic pulls it down. Harden against Fournier. Isaac knocks down the 3-ball.
Yeah, the clever Frenchman. Fournier solid at recognizing when the defense isn't covering one of his teammates.
Passes it to Covington. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Boy, nice timing on these jumps. He's somewhat on the small side for a power forward, but he just never gives up.
Now here's Fultz. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Lakers. Isaac finds Gordon. And here's Fultz, defended by Covington. Orlando moving the ball around. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Kept alive. Misses the layup. He had him with that pump fake.
I think the effort on defense there has everything to do with why he missed that shot. Well done.
Now here's Westbrook. Not a lot of room. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
And it's the fearlessness of Westbrook. It's really refreshing to watch. When he's deep inside, he just goes right at you.
Now here's Fournier. He picked up 12 points in their last win against the Lakers. Gordon kicks to Fultz. Another miss by Orlando.
They're 1 of 4 here to start, looking to get into a flow offensively.
Well, Eric Gordon is the kind of player that you absolutely do not go under.
Yeah, he's got great range, and you watch the former Hoosier shoot, and you see how much he uses his legs. Gordon's liable to take a shot from any distance in the gym. I mean, he's got that kind of range, and his form is very efficient, and his confidence is sky high.
And I love the way he uses his size there to make sure he gets that board.
Chalk up 2 there. Isaac's got his second basket of the night.
Man, I admire how Isaac fights through the contact there, man. Grit and grind on display, not letting the defense tie him down on these shots.
Now here's Westbrook. He's coming off a 19-point game against Cleveland. Great D that time from Vucevic. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Now here's Fournier, guarded by Tucker. Fultz looking around. Sweet little floater.
And, you know, Fultz has great control on these floaters. Not an easy shot, but he makes.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill. And he has definitely been struggling in this quarter.
You know, guys, it seems to me as though he's over anxious. He seems to be pressing, trying too hard, moving too fast. Just needs to calm himself down and wait for good shots.
Rockets trail by 3. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Well, I like the understated focus that Harden brings to the table. Despite getting knocked around, his concentration allows him to play through the bumps.
And with all the accolades that James Harden has accumulated in his career, Clark, the one thing missing is a championship ring.
And, you know, there's no guarantees for however great you are individually that you'll win a championship. We've got a lot of great players that weren't able to get that done. But, you know, when you think about it, that's one thing that's keeping him from being in the all-time great shooting guard conversation in the eyes of some. Team success is critically important. Championships add to your resume, but I think at the end of the day, when you maximize your individual contribution, that should be worth something in terms of your recognition and accolades.
Here's Bamba. The block's fast.
Well, he's a very effective scorer from there. Bamba's excellent at using his size to his advantage.
Harden outside. To the middle, trying to find Green. He's got it now. Shoots over Bamba. The Rockets with another miss.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
And, you know, time will tell how big a factor that becomes in this game, guys, but if you're the coaching staff, it's certainly a point of emphasis.
And it's Rivers with the ball. He brings it up for the Rockets. It's a 5-point game. Coming into this, having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Remarkable consistency from deep. You can't count on that every game, especially on the road.
Yeah, you know, the defense had no answer for him. To do that kind of damage on the road, impressive.
And here's Augustine. James Harden getting it to go from deep. Augustine passes to Doc. Ross with it, guarded by Harden. Clock at 4. Jacks up a 3. Offensive rebound. And the dunk by Bamba.
Bamba's got crazy length and impressive height, obviously, at north of 7 feet. Helps him on that offensive board, but his tenacity, a big part of that, too.
And the Rockets with possession here, following the bucket by Orlando. Now here's Harden. Defense is right there. A steal. And that does it for the first quarter. It's the Magic leading by 4. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. Russell Westbrook has surly disposition on the court, but he talks about the power of positivity with his team.
Throughout the years, I've been trying to find ways to be a better leader. Leadership was a huge thing, and I felt the way I reacted to certain plays and my facial expressions and my demeanor can change a lot for a teammate.
Well, you can't win it alone.
And for superstar players like Westbrook, individual greatness isn't enough. It's about elevating the team around them.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And when we consider how the Magic are doing, what do you think?
Aggressive at running guys to the backboard. You could tell it was part of their game plan coming in.
Yeah, and you know, when a team establishes an edge on the glass early, it really sets things up for the rest of the game.
Taking a look at the Rockets. Jamari Carroll is out there with Green. Then there's Austin Rivers. Then it's McLemore, and it's House in at the small forward. Now here's Ross. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Mamba inside. Not happening that time. His second miss in 5 shots. The pass to House. Rivers looking over the floor. Kicks to House. To the paint. Here's Green. That one no good. And it's the Magic taking it the other way. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season.
And with this matchup being an East versus West affair, it will be the first of only 2 meetings between the teams.
And, you know, there's always a bit of a feeling out process in that first game between opponents. A lot different than when you've played a team you're familiar with.
Players are sure racking up a lot of miles, Clark. A lot of games, a lot of flights, a lot of late nights, early mornings. But in some ways, it must be easier these days than it was, say, 20 years ago when you were playing.
It's easier now than it was when I played. I mean, we had commercial flights and 6 a.m. flights. These guys now actually have charter services. And heck, I often think that the guys before me had it much worse than I did. So it's all relative. But clearly, it's hard, it's demanding, but they also have the very best of care in getting to and from the cities across the league. You know, as good as the Magic were defensively last year, they were just as challenged offensively. Struggled a bit at that end of the floor. Only 24th in the league in points.
So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Vucevic, he's checked in for Murray. And this comes in for Terrence Ross. So it's Orlando now. Now here is Augustine. And that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. And so it's Orlando, bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. Their defense has been very effective in locking down Russell Westbrook. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks, Nick. What got you guys going in the first half?
It was just we played aggressive and try to be a present in there. Everybody, not just me, but all the guys. And that's all we need to do, you know. When we start the game up right, then we can build a pretty nice lead like tonight we did.
Obviously, it's how you finish, not how you start. Thanks, Nick. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview. And we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball. And if you're just joining us in this one, first half is in the books. 1 half to go. A fantastic game. He's checked in for the Magic. Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
Well, you knew after the Paul George trade that the Thunder would look to sell on Westbrook as well. Just part of the rebuild at this point. His agent did well to get him to a team looking to compete. A great fit for a player in this stage of Russ's career.
At the 4 and the 5, we have Gordon and Vucevic. Fultz is out there with Doc. And it's Isaac in at the 3 spot. That's who's out there for Orlando. And that one.
The Rockets play. They hear some criticism. They look for fouls. They want to draw fouls, and they shoot. What the game situation is, they're jacking up threes. It does. Some fans and purists who follow the game.
Gordon dishes to Covington. Westbrook surveying the D. 6 to shoot. Shot by Gordon, wide open. The Rockets with another miss. And with the Rockets, they've heard plenty about how they look for fouls.
And that's a big part of how they attack. I mean, they want to draw fouls, want to get to that foul line. They make no bones about it. But because of the pace of play being as slow as it was for them, they were third in that category. They also were third in free throws made.
No good from Doc.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Gordon, the pass to Westbrook. Lays it up and banks it in. Westbrook's got 4 points this quarter.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
On the wing, Gordon. Knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Gordon. A moment now to check out who's leading in the All-Star voting.
And a lot of fans and players interested to see how this thing all turns out.
Look at Hartford. He stands at number 2 in the Western Conference. The fans giving him the backing he deserves.
No doubt about it. And it's been an outstanding campaign for him, and he's got to be a part of that starting lineup.
And it's going to be an exciting showcase. We'll keep you updated with the results each day during the voting.
Encouraging signs for him after starting the game poorly. He's picked it up here in the second half.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. Drops in the tray. Westbrook's got 9.
It took a long time for him to get that first triple. Let's see now, though, if he can get going.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. The 6th pick back in 2017, 6'10" Jonathan Isaac out of Florida State. Greg, what have you seen from him?
Came in somewhat raw. Potential as a rangy defender. Offensively, though, still a ways to go.
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Bamba is checked in for Vucevic. Ross comes in for Aaron Gordon. And it's Carter Williams in for Fultz. Tipped away. Ross passes to Doc. Now here's Ross. He's guarded closely. Off target from the wing. Rockets trail by 6. Inside, Carroll. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Carroll's got his first points of the night.
Such an impressive all-around player. Carroll is good at scoring in the painted area as well.
Doc the pass to Isaac. To the inside. Bamba against Green. Bamba kicks to Ross. Some nice ball movement by the Magic. Here's Carter Williams. Another miss by Orlando. And it's Rivers with the ball. He brings it up for the Rockets. Trailing by 4. And at home for the next game, it'll be Detroit pulling into town. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
For the tie, and it's sent back by Isaac. And we'll be right back after this. And a chance right now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, and with the accuracy to go along with that vision. I mean, he put the ball in the absolute perfect spot. That's how you orchestrate it.
Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Vucevic checked in for Mohamed Bamba. Aaron Gordon comes in for Isaac. Doc, he's checked in for Terrence Ross. And Markelle Fultz is subbed in for Carter Williams. Houston also making some changes. Robert Covington's checked in for Daniel House. Gordon comes in for Ben McLemore. And it's Russell Westbrook in for Austin Rivers. And so in the game for the Rockets, Westbrook and Harden, the dynamite pair. They're the backcourt. Jamari Carroll is out there with Robert Covington. And it's Gordon in at the 3. Orlando needs to get off a shot. And it's Vucevic missing.
And really, they've rebounded well all game long.
Yep, and they've needed every one of those boards. This game's still close.
And he's been a force on the glass all game long.
Yeah, I love the way he's fighting through box outs, using his elbows. I mean, he's doing whatever it takes.
2 points. That one goes. And that's now 11 points for Evan Fournier.
I like to see Fournier step up in these situations. He's a player that's very confident and has no fear when the game is close.
Here's Westbrook, and the layup's good off the glass. Westbrook's got 9 points now in just the second half.
And challenging the bigger defender coming through in the biggest moment.
Well, this guy is always in attack mode, very aggressive. Some players might kick it out there, not him. He's going right to the bucket.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over. And with his game closing in on the final buzzer, let's take a look at our Jordan player of the game.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. That has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
13 feet away. Here's Vucevic, and he banks in the layup.
And, you know, you develop a level of trust with your teammates when you show the kind of concentration that Vucevic shows in these situations. He's the total package.
1:39 left to play in the final quarter. Westbrook drives in. He feeds it to Tucker. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist. Westbrook's got his 6th assist on the night.
Love the attitude of Westbrook. Continues to improve at running the offense and finding ways to create opportunities for his teammates.
Fultz the pass to Doc. And here is Isaac. Pass to Doc. Down low. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over.
Boy, in a game this snug, you can ill afford to commit those kinds of turnovers.
Rockets trail by 3. So here's Westbrook to tie it up. Vucevic with the rebound. Now here's Fultz. He's covered by Westbrook. Knocked the pass to Gordon. It drops.
Easy to see why Gordon has the ball in these moments. He's phenomenal at coming up big.
Now a timeout called by Houston. They're down by 5. 44 seconds left to play here in the 4th. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, during that break, Mike D'Antoni talked to his team. He told them we've got to make the most of every chance right now. This is a winnable game, but we've got to make plays. Guys, we'll see if they can come back.
Thank you, David. There's 37 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Westbrook can't get it to go. And now they decide to foul intentionally. There's 31 seconds left in the 4th. And they go to the intentional foul. And the first of two, no good, heartbreaker.
You know, Fultz is a guy who can easily take over a game if you give him an opportunity to. He's very confident and has remarkable decision-making skills.
That's good, going 1 of 2 from the line, and that increases their lead to 6. Guys, a critical time for them in this ballgame.
You got to play mistake-free.
Timeout called, the Rockets. They trail by 6. We've got 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Seven-second difference, shot in game clock. Westbrook, no good.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy ones.
And no good as the first free throw, missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. So he comes up empty, missing both. And it's Gordon with the ball. He brings it up for the Houston Rockets. 6-point game. Money! And now they trail by just 4.
Tell you what, fellas, he is fun to watch when he's working like that and getting to the hoop.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. They lead by 4. 16 seconds left in the game. They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let them dribble the game out.
Exactly. I mean, you got to stop the clock any way possible and hope they alligator arm a few of those free throws.
So the first one drops, and that puts them up by 5. So he gets them both, and it's a 6-point ball game.
And that's curtains for him. Some really good work at the charity stripe to close this one out.
Covington kicks to Harden. Can't connect from long distance. And now we've got the intentional foul. Gets the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. And the Rockets with possession here. From deep. Off the mark. And so it's Orlando winning this one. A confident win, and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. And I think they built off that edge of being here and play with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.